Welcome to the fourth video in the Lying to Sitting series. We're going to lie on the back. So come to lie on the back, and we will bend the knees and place the feet near to the buttocks so the feet are standing, meaning the soles of the feet are on the surface that we're lying on. The knees are bent toward the ceiling. The thighs are relaxed. So a couple of points here. First of all, ensure that you are adequately confident in your stability, your ability to receive the support here. So if you are straining or feeling overwhelmingly uncomfortable, then pause the video and find a way to receive that support so that you're not straining. So what might that mean? That might mean a little bit more padding underneath you. So you might want to place a rug or a yoga mat under you. Or you may move to the bed. Now, if you do it in bed, just make sure you're not likely to fall out of bed. And you might laugh and think that seems ridiculous, but even though we're not going to be making large movements, and always I would recommend that you move in a slow manner so that you don't lose control, nonetheless, do set yourself up for great success by making sure that you're in a stable position to begin with. So if you're going to do it in bed, then don't do it right at the edge of the bed. Do it so that you've got a wide area so that you have no reason to feel any anxiety about losing balance and falling out. So ensure that you're able to receive this support. And of course, sometimes there may be some difficulty with that, in which case maybe today's not the right day to do this particular exploration for some people. So be honest about that too. Don't push through something just because you think you should or it's going to be good. It's best if you're gentle. Really, to be honest, all of these explorations, and this might seem a little challenging to really believe or receive this, but it is true. All of these explorations are explorations to uncover self-love. So we have to, in order to receive that true benefit, we have to be gentle. Nurture ourselves. Don't push. We're learning how to do these things with greater ease, with greater confidence, with greater stability, with greater connectedness, with a greater support, greater receptivity, so that all activities become effortless, pleasurable. And in order to discover that, we have to start from that. We have to be willing to start from that attitude of receptivity, of trust, of ease. So we first find the support. Release and surrender to the support. The support is here, it's underneath you. Let go. Surrender in the back. Surrender the back of the head. Surrender the back of the neck. Surrender the shoulders. Surrender the upper back, the lower back, the pelvis. Surrender the bottoms of the feet. Now surrender everything else. Surrender the eyeballs, the ears, the forehead, the throat, the cheeks, the chest. Surrender the abdomen. Let it really rest. It will sink toward the floor, toward the bed. Just let it rest. Let it stop trying to do anything. Maybe the breathing changes. Maybe you don't know how to breathe when the abdomen is relaxed. So be gentle. Don't try to force a relaxation that might be shocking, but ease into it and trust that you can breathe when the abdomen is relaxed. It's possible, it's natural, it's pleasurable, it's available to you. Just trust that it's possible. Be gentle, explore that possibility, be willing to be wrong, be willing to let go, be willing not to try so hard, be willing to receive the answers, to receive the guidance, to receive the support. Also release the thighs. Let the thighs come to rest. Let all of that unnecessary effort trying to pull upward come to rest down on the floor or bed. Let the knees relax. Let the lower legs relax so that all of that energy goes to the feet, which are connected, which can transfer all of that to the bed or the floor underneath you, so that you really can start to relax more deeply. Now, if you're struggling to keep the legs upright or not fall over, then don't worry, because we're gonna do something now. So we're going to cross the left leg over the right leg. Now, before you do it, remember what we've explored up to this point. So don't fling yourself into that position. See if you can explore that transition consciously so that everything is smooth, conscious, pleasurable. So become aware of what you need to do, what the movement is. So we're slowly lifting the left foot from the floor or bed. The knee comes toward the chest. Keeping the abdomen soft and released. Now you can use your hands to help yourself if you want, but you might not need to. You might be surprised. So what do you do from here? How can you get that left foot beyond the right knee? Well, we might have to unbend the left knee a little bit to get that left foot up over the right knee. Let it slide up and over the right knee. Keep the abdomen soft and relaxed, releasing toward the floor. Let the breathing be natural, gentle. Now we want to really cross the legs completely so that the thighs are together. The bottom or the backside of the left thigh will ideally be in contact with the top of the right thigh. So how do we do that? Well, we probably are going to find that bringing the right knee to the left is going to help in that process. Now, if you're not sure yet how to really do that, then explore that. Just pause the video and explore that movement until it becomes clear, until you're able to cross the left leg over the right. So to be clear, the right foot is on the floor or the bed. We haven't moved the right foot. It remains where it was. We've lifted the left foot, brought the left knee toward the chest, unbent the left knee, and slid the left foot, and it's possible I gave these instructions mixed up right and left when I was giving the instructions earlier, but we've slid the left foot over the right knee and then brought the left leg completely across the right so that the underside of the left thigh is in contact with the top side of the right thigh. The entire, more or less, the entire lower left leg is now on the right side of the right thigh. So take a moment here and surrender. Let the abdomen be surrendered, released toward the floor or bed. Not drawn in, not sucked in, no force, just released so that you're not pressing it outward or upward. Just let it come to rest. And notice how this position can really highlight areas in which you've held tension that you were not aware of in the abdomen, perhaps in the groin, in the legs, maybe anywhere. And release and surrender that. So here with the legs crossed, be aware that the inner thighs and groin do not need to make any effort whatsoever, because this posture, there's a lock or a binding that secures the legs so that we don't need to make any effort any longer. The legs can just relax, especially the inner thighs and the groin. So let that soften and release in and down toward the floor or bed. Become aware of the lower abdomen and the pelvis, which can also completely release here. So with the legs crossed in this way, there's a stabilizing quality, and we're allowing that stability that's inherent in the position to allow us to release consciously. Keep releasing the abdomen so that you're not pushing it out. Let it sink toward the floor or ground. All the way down to the lowest point of the abdomen. Really be aware of that whole abdomen from the base of the rib cage all the way down to the pubic bone, to the pelvic floor, from one from the right inguinal crease to the left inguinal crease. Also, the thighs can be totally relaxed here. The gluteal muscles, the buttocks, can be completely relaxed. See that that's possible. Your brain probably still says, oh, but I'm not sure, maybe I need to hold this tension. But just find out. Don't try to force anything. Don't be sudden. Just slow, gentle surrender. Now, let's bring the hands to the abdomen, and we'll play with different hand positions. So don't think that there's one correct hand position, but we're going to start with them one just above the belly button and one just below the belly button. So on the midline of the abdomen, one above the belly button, one below the belly button. And don't push hard, but do have enough contact that you are able to sense under your fingertips the quality of the tissue that you're feeling there. Now, at first, that might not be clear. It might just seem tense, hard, or maybe not tense or hard, maybe just unclear. But it will become clearer, and you will be really amazed at just how clear it can become and how freeing it is. So with the hands here, begin to explore moving the knees. So keep the right foot where it is, but move the knees to the left. Only as far as you're able to move them with complete confidence and stability, with a smooth, continuous movement. It may be very small. If you were to be watching the video, you would see I have not moved my knees very far. Make sure that the torso remains evenly on the floor. So if you find that the right shoulder is beginning to lift, you've gone too far. Now, as you're doing this, so see that you'll come to a point where you're not going to go any further because you're just not at the moment. And just pause here and soften, particularly under the fingertips in the abdomen. Release. Notice how, and by the way, if you put the fingertips right on the skin, you will find that it makes a big difference. You're much more sensitive without the additional layers of clothing. So feel free to do that. Now, of course, if this is strenuous, don't do this. Come back to a position that's non-strenuous. And then don't go so far next time. So what we're interested in doing here is kind of hanging out for a moment in this end of the range of the movement and just softening more. Letting the natural breath accentuate the awareness of the tissue state. And also how much of a release you can discover in the abdomen. It's really quite a lot more than you think. without forcing the out breath. Just allow the out breath to be complete so that you're certain that it's time to inhale before you do. Let the out breath just continue to naturally, gently flow out without strain. Don't cause yourself any stress. If you need to breathe, breathe. But just explore how far the out breath can go without strain, without stress, and how much the abdomen can soften and release here. Notice what you're sensing under the fingers. Notice how that tissue there can soften and lengthen and clarify, and how pleasurable it is. Now, maintaining that same softness and length and pleasure, and don't be concerned if you say, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't experience any pleasure or length or softness. Just trust. Maybe at first it's very small. At first you don't notice it, but trust, and I promise you, you will have an experience soon, today, momentarily, if you just keep trusting, that will be undeniable, where you will recognize, yes, it is softening. Yes, it is lengthening. Yes, it is clearer. Yes, I do have more confidence. Yes, there is more ease. It's a real thing. It's not made up. It's a real experience. You will have this experience. Trust in that. Let it be small if it's small, but it will blossom. Then it becomes reliable. It grows and blossoms, and you will find that your entire body, your entire experience is flowing and supple. So we're going to maintain that same suppleness, softness, length, and ease, keeping the fingers here so that we can be very sensitive and aware as we slowly bring the knees to upright. So we're discovering how to do this without tensing up unnecessarily, without armoring or creating that habitual strain. And I found that I actually need to adjust my foot a little bit, so it's okay if you need to make small adjustments if you find that you're slightly destabilized. But just be clear about it, whether it's necessary or not. Now, when you're back to the upright, knees upright, legs are still crossed, unless it's uncomfortable. If it's uncomfortable, don't continue. Just come out, rest. Know that whatever discomfort or strain or fear you experience, it's good that you're aware of that. It's good that you're discovering that, because here you are, very safe, very gentle, supported. So this is the best place, the best time to encounter that fear. The fear, I'm going to hurt myself, I'm going to break, I can't do it, there's something wrong with me, it's because of my injuries, it's because of my past, it's because of my constitution, it's because of my parents, it's because of my world, it's because of whatever reasons. But see that it's fundamentally fear that you have habitually propped up by indulging all the habits of fixation on those beliefs, those ideas. And here actually it's safe. You're not going to break because you cross your legs. Even if at first it seems very challenging. even if at first it provokes a lot of fear. So be very, very gentle. If it provokes fear, pain, discomfort, be very gentle. Ease up. Remember, this is not about pain. It's not about no pain, no gain. Actually, this is no pain is gain. Meaning we're looking for ease. We follow ease. We discover ease, we open to ease. Pain is, we welcome pain because pain is showing us where we are trying too hard, where we're too violent, where we're too hurried, where we're too impatient. And so we give thanks because that helps us to be gentler. But we don't push into pain. We don't run away from pain. We just ease up. We come back to the point where there is no pain so that we can begin to explore what is the actual nature of the pain. How do I do that? So let's, if it's appropriate for you, if not, obviously don't do it, but if it's appropriate, let's explore this a few more times. So we're slowly, smoothly, confidently moving the knees to the left, keeping the legs crossed, keeping the hands on the abdomen, allowing for the abdomen to soften and release. Allowing the legs to release, allowing the inner thighs to release, allowing the buttocks to release, allowing the lateral sides of the legs to release. Nothing, we don't need to be making all that effort and strain here, so we can release it. So we're not pulling or pushing, we're just initiating very gently this movement to the left, and then we're surrendering all of the unnecessary effort so that it's the absolute minimal effort necessary, which is so minimal that it's virtually effortless. It's deeply pleasurable. We're safe. We can release and soften. Let the abdomen soften even more. Can you feel that under your fingertips? I really want you to feel that. This is very powerful. When you start to feel the release, then this feeds back into your nervous system so that you very quickly start to gain confidence in your ability to do this. It's an actual function that is innate within all of us. Most of us have not learned to develop this skill, but it's a real skill. And like all skills, we can improve that skill when we give our attention to it, particularly in the correct and optimal way, which I think we're doing here. So we're softening inwardly, we're feeling externally, we're allowing for the nervous system to feed back both the inner and the external information to allow us to gain confidence in our ability to soften at will, to release at will, to release the hardened, armored, incorrect, fearful habits in the body. Now, continue to remain aware of this lengthening, softening, release, and slowly bring the knees to upright. This is very important that you don't do it the usual way. Don't do it the way that seems easy at first, because that's the way that actually is harder. That's the way that requires strain. So see that you can do it without introducing unnecessary tension into the tissue under your fingers. See how soft you can allow it to remain. See, here's the thing. The muscles under your fingers here, if you have the fingers on the midline of the abdomen, that muscle that is there, the big muscle, is the rectus abdominis, and that muscle contracts to draw the rib cage toward the pubic bone, or the pubic bone toward the rib cage. Now, you probably are aware that we're not doing that action here, so having that information and that awareness is useful, because then you can realize that in reality you don't need to contract that muscle for this movement. So we're going to conclude this formal exploration momentarily, and obviously we could do the complementary movement, and I would encourage you to do so later today or tomorrow, meaning to cross the right leg over the left and then place the hands on the abdomen and slowly move the knees to the right and back to upright several times to explore that. We won't do that right now. Right now we're going to explore coming out of this posture with awareness. So you're welcome to do this with your hands placed however you want. If you're interested and you feel confident in this and stable, you can keep the hands where they are so that you can continue to gently be aware of the tissue state under your fingers. And what we're going to do is slowly uncross the legs consciously with awareness so that we can really gain the maximum benefits from this exploration. The more that we can consciously transition from one posture to another, the more that the benefits that we've gained through the particular exploration in that posture will translate to other orientations. Meaning, if we're lying on our backs as we are now with the legs crossed, and then we just quickly leap up and go about our day, we won't get as many benefits, and they won't be as sustained, and they won't be as effortless and natural, and they won't translate into as much of our life as would be the case if we do this slowly with awareness. So we're going to do it slowly with awareness so that we can get the maximum benefits. So keep allowing the abdomen to be as soft as possible. And let's begin to explore uncrossing the legs, which maybe will be the opposite of how we got into the position. So let's find out. So we want to begin to bring the left knee to the left, which, if we explore that, maybe there are a couple of possibilities. So one is we could first unbend that knee a little bit so that the I like this one. We'll try this one. So I can unbend. This is not the opposite of how we got here. This is a different way, but I like this one. Let's see. We're unbending the left knee and then sliding the left calf over the right knee toward the left. be sure to do it slowly and gently so that you don't surprise yourself. You don't want to have a sudden unexpected release of tension because the left calf just suddenly pops over the knee. So make sure it's soft and gentle and slow. And then you can slowly allow the left foot to come toward the floor and place that on the floor, and then slowly come to rest. So there's a shifting that needs to take place of the distribution of the trying to think of the right word here. There's a distribution of something so that you can feel the shift in the pelvis. It's very gentle. Let everything come to rest. If you need to let the legs extend so that you can be very clearly supported, that's fine. Then we will explore coming to sit from this position. Now, there are a lot of ways we could do this, so don't think that there's one right way. Be willing to explore. It's okay to explore. It's okay not to have the right answer in advance. I don't have the right answer in advance. I'm going to try something a little different than what I've done recently, and you do whatever makes sense to you. So this is interesting to me, so I'm going to try it. Okay, thank you for joining. I hope you're experiencing newness. I hope that you perceive that as pleasure. Whatever the case, be gentle and be open to this truth, which is that this exploration done sincerely has opened you to greater ease, whether you recognize it or not. Keep trusting that this experience that is opening within you is an experience of greater ease. Your habit, your conditioned mind will judge it otherwise.
Be confident in the inherent goodness of life and in the unfolding of that goodness in your life through these explorations, and I promise you, you'll find that truly it does get better and better. Those doubts and fears, the things that surface that say, I'm not sure, I think maybe I'm feeling bad. If they happen. They don't always happen, but if they happen, just rest. Don't give energy to those old habits. What you're witness to when that happens is the old habits and how it is that they've hooked your attention, hooked your belief. And you know something truer than that. So have faith in that truth that you know. Surrender. Open to this truth as it blossoms in you, and I promise you, this greater ease and suppleness will blossom in all areas of your life. Whenever you're in doubt, just close the eyes, surrender all the effort, release the abdomen, tune into the natural breath, and you will see it gets better and better, better and better, better and better, every day, if you allow it. Thank you.